Hey guys, welcome to Josh's weekly fantasy tips. So to start out, we got the quarterbacks. At the top of my list, I have Matt Ryan at 1, Ben Roethlisberger at 2, and Jared Goff at 3. I have Matt Ryan at 1 because he's going up against the Steelers secondary, which has given up the second most passing yards by any team this season. I have Ben Roethlisberger at 2 for the same reason. The Falcons secondary has given up the 7th most passing yards, so I think those two will have a big game. And then I have Jared Goff at 3 because Jared Goff has just been popping off this week. So you may be asking me, like, Josh, what about the Bengals and the Texans? Like, okay, my answer to that is, who are the Bengals playing? Ryan Tannehill. Who are the Texans playing? Dak Prescott. Yeah, they suck. They are trash. Tannehill led the Dolphins to like a solid 0 points last week. He's been pretty solid the rest of the season, but like he's still Ryan Tannehill. Like he's not the best, right? And Dak Prescott, he's also trash. He's been averaging like 180 yards every game, and like I think he's got like 4 touchdowns, but like 2 of them were in one game. The other 3 games he got 1 or 2. I forgot. I don't know. Oh, and Jared Goff third. He's been popping off. They're up against the Seahawks this weekend. Earl Thomas is dead. Flipped off his teammates. I think they're going to be bad this week. Yeah. Seahawks are kind of fucked. Not buying into Baker Mayfield. I think he's been turning the ball over too much. He's only had like a 1.5 game sample, so he's been pretty good, but not like fantasy good. And then Mitchell Trubisky, breakout star last weekend. I don't think he can keep it up though. If you take out the last game he played, he's been just straight garbage. Like literally, I could do better. Probably not. Patrick Mahomes, still a solid QB. I'd go with him if you have him. He's pretty solid. Yeah, those are the QBs. So on to the wide receivers. So on wide receivers, we got Antonio Brown, Julio Jones at the top of the list. Matt Ryan and Big Ben. If they're gonna have a big game, I would assume Antonio Brown and Julio Jones are gonna have a good game. Following them, I have every single fucking Rams wide receiver because like all of them, they all are like godlike right now. Like any one of them would work. Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods. I would go in like Brandon Cooks, then Cooper Kupp, then Robert Woods in that order probably first. And then I think Calvin Ridley, Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley. I think he's gonna have a pretty good game. Aside from his week 1 like blunder where he had nothing, like 0 catches, 0 yards. Every other game, like week 2, week 3, week 4, he's been pretty solid. And I think like Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley are both gonna have a really good game. I don't know about Juju Smith. He hasn't really been doing as well as he did last year. So like I don't know about him. I'd probably stay away from him. Probably go for like someone else. Like I don't know, Alshon Jeffrey. I think he's back. He did pretty well last week. Who else? Oh, I think Julian Edelman might have a pretty good game because aside from Gronk, who is injured right now, we don't know how bad. We don't know if he's gonna play. He's questionable. I think Julian Edelman's having a good game because Josh Gordon doesn't seem to like be the most productive receiver right now, and Cordell Patterson's trash. James White, James White, but that's in the running back section, so we'll get to James White. Yeah, those are the wide receivers. So to the running backs, I got Todd Gurley at the top. He's been solid every single week. And then I have Alvin Kamara. Those two, I think you could do interchangeably. They're both pretty solid. I think Todd Gurley's against an easier defense this week, so I'd put him over Alvin Kamara if you somehow happen to have both of them. But Alvin Kamara. Actually, no, Alvin Kamara this week he might not do as well. As well as he's been doing since like Mark Ingram's coming back. He's gonna probably get less touches, more catches though. So if you're in PPR, it's pretty good. Ezekiel Elliott, he's got the most rushing yards this season so far. He had a really good game last week. Like, what was it 210? I think 210 total yards, something like that. I think I don't even know. I didn't write it down. Yeah, and then going back to James White that I was talking about earlier. I think James White, he proved to be a really good PPR option. He caught like he totaled 112 yards. Whether it be like I think it was like a good amount of it was receptions too. I forgot how many receptions, but yeah, pretty good option. He had a big week last week. Sony Michel finally did well. but I don't know if he's the safest option. He's only had one good week. Yeah, I'll talk about some sleeper running backs later on, but those are it for like really solid. Oh, what's it called? Nick Chubb. He had a pretty good week last week. He only got 3 touches or 5 touches or some shit like that, but he got like 2 massive, like long run touchdowns. So he could be pretty good. I don't know if he's gonna get more touches. If he doesn't get more touches, I don't expect him to do as well as he did last week. I think last week he got pretty lucky with those two giant runs. But yeah, next we'll get on to the tight ends. So at the top of the tight end position, I have Kelsey over Gronk, assuming Gronk's healthy and Kelsey's healthy because they both got like beat up last week. I think Kelsey's been doing better than Gronk this year because like Gronk's just been like Tom Brady and Gronk have just been bad kind of up until last week. I have Jared Cook there because he essentially is just another wide receiver. He hasn't played like a tight end. Zach Ertz, it's always a good option. He's done very well. He's against the Vikings defense. I mean, the Vikings haven't done very well this year defensively. Like Kirk Cousins has just been like in shootouts every single week, kind of, except for the Bills game. Jordan Reed, Kyle Rudolph, David Njoku. There are plenty of options. George Kittle, Eric Ebron. I mean, like they're playing tight ends. Honestly, like most of the league, like most of the tight ends, they're like all wide receivers now. So like any of them would work. Any first tight ends. Oh, the 2 Steelers tight ends. Those 2. I think Jesse James and the other guy who like did the whole stiff arm thing. I forgot what it was. But like, yeah, those 2, they're pretty good options. They both have like pretty much equal production, but pretty solid options if you don't have any of like the good tight ends. And then going on to defense, my top pick for defense this week would probably be the Broncos. Not Jacksonville, yeah, surprisingly. The Broncos have a pretty good defense. They're up against Sam Darnold, who's a turnover machine, so you get a lot of points from that. Aside from like the very first game I think that Sam Darnold played, he's been pretty bad. So the Broncos should be fine. The Titans, I think they'll do well too. The Bills, they're kind of like Josh Allen's like kind of shaky. Not the best. He's like okay, but I don't think he's gonna be able to. And I mean like the Titans D, it's like they're like kind of underrated maybe or overrated. I don't know. I don't really know. I think they're gonna do fine against the Bills though. And then I got Baltimore because they're against the Browns. And Baker Mayfield turns the ball over a shit ton, whether it be fumbles or like interceptions. I think the Browns are good. The Ravens are gonna be able to hold Baker Mayfield to a pretty low score. I have the Jags rated kind of high, but not super high because they're against the Chiefs. The Chiefs, like even against the Broncos, they like were able to like score a shit ton of points. So like, I don't know if the Jags can stop them. Patrick Mahomes doesn't really turn over the ball at all. Neither does Kareem Hunt. So yeah, like 0 interceptions. I don't know how many fumbles, probably 0 too. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably go with like any of those teams. I would stay away from Seattle, Oakland, Pittsburgh, Atlanta. Those guys, they don't know what's up. Bears, always a solid option too. I like the Bears D. And then sleeper options. So sleepers, we got CJ Beathard as my sleeper for quarterback because last week he had like an okay game. He had a pretty good game. He was like okay actually. He had like 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It was meh. But like that was against who were they against? I don't know. I forgot. But this week they're against Cardinals, which they're 0-4, pretty bad right now. They don't look very good. So even though CJ Beathard isn't like the most hyped quarterback, I think if you have the quarterback on bye or like you have a quarterback who's like kind of shitting right now, then you can go with CJ Beathard as like a second option. He played the Chargers. That's what he played. He did pretty well for the Chargers defense. Colts running back Nyheim Hines, whatever his name is. Yeah, he had a really good game last week. If you're going PPR, he's definitely a good option. He doesn't really run the ball that much, but he's essentially like a wide receiver in the backfield. He has a total of like 22 receptions this week. I think he had like almost 10 last week, so pretty good option there. yeah, that's all I got for this week. So, go luck, have fun.